Hi, everybody. June here from Red Daisy Crafts. Uh, it is Sunday, September 7th. I'm glad to be here with you, and we're going to have some fun working on some alternate ideas for the August Paper Pumpkin Farmhouse Florals. Sorry, I'm just a couple minutes late. I'm still getting myself together. I just want to make sure that I have everything I need in order to do what we have planned for today. And hi, Wanda. Thanks for joining. So glad you're here. Sorry I was a few minutes late. I am just trying to get my act together here. And I'm going to get a water really quick, and then we're going to get started. I hope everybody is doing well. And let me hear from you in the comments where you're watching from. Last week, we had some fun, and we created a couple of cards with the typewriter card base that were like a little easel card, and I showed you how to cut that in half. And so this week we are going to be playing around with some additional items. And I want to start us out with a couple of announcements before I forget that we are 3 days away from the September paper pumpkin period ending. So if you haven't already subscribed, and great if you have, but if you haven't, you want to get it in, because the next kit, Fall with Twall, is totally amazing. I've seen some sneak peeks and it is really awesome. Plus there is a great suite in the catalog that just came out that coordinates with it, so I'm going to be bringing in those materials, and so that's going to be so much fun. And then the next day, on the 11th, we'll get the release for the next quarter, and I cannot wait to get that and see what we have coming for the rest of the year. See which dies are coming. So I just think we have a lot of fun things ahead of us for the next few months. So let's go ahead and go down to the table so that we can kind of begin. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm hoping the light's okay. I think it's just the angle that my computer is at that makes the light look funny. But please tell me if there is anything that looks kind of wonky. I am seeing here I'm a little bit crooked, so I'm going to try and straighten some of this out here and get us straight on the screen, and move things over this way, and hopefully we can get things kind of situated. Why is that looking kind of funky? All right, so I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it for now. I don't know how that got messed up, but we are here. And so last week I wanted to show you, last week after we were done with our session, I put together this card. I shared it in the group, and I really love how it came out, and I wanted to tell you about it. What I'm using is a card base of gray granite. I just love that the color went so well. I mean, it is one of the coordinating colors, but I really love how it just changed some of the features and things of the colors in the card. But I also wanted to show you how I stamped on the card base layer, which is pecan pie, and I use the floral stamp that's in the kit. This was the add-on stamp, and so I used it to just design like some of my own kind of decorative paper. And then layered that in here and then added the door. I also took a piece of the Calypso Coral and stamped all along there with one of the little flower stamps. So really super cute card. I love how it came out. So let's move on to our next project. And I wanted to work on a 3D item with you. So I thought I would bring this out and that we would start with that before we got going. So what I have here is a piece of basic white cardstock. It's the thick cardstock. And it is 8.5 by 9.5 inches. Okay. And on the 9.5 inch side, you're going to score at 3 inches, at 4.25 inch, at 7.25 inch, and at 8.5 inch marks. Okay. So on the 9.5 side of the piece, you're going to score at 3 inches, 4.25, 7.25, and 8.5. Okay. Then on the 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1.25, and it's going to be 1.25 from the other end, or it's 7.25. So whichever way you want to go, but it's basically 1.25 inch in from each end, and that's the only score lines on that side. So we are going to use some of the Painterly Pear paper with this, but we don't do very many 3D items, and I thought it would be fun to bring this into our project today. So we are going to now, on this one end where you have 2 score lines, we are going to make some cuts in the paper. So we are going to cut in on the score line. We're going in 2 marks, and we're going to do the same on this edge here, and we're just going to cut in right there, and then I'm going to cut them off. So just getting this straight here. So we're taking that piece off, and then we're going to take off this side as well, like that. All right, and then we are going to do a little bit more cutting. And so we are going to cut in right here at this mark and this mark. And then we're going to kind of miter these so that it doesn't have any like extended pieces, so that whenever we put it all together, it all lays kind of nice and flat. Okay. And then we're going to flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So right here and right here. And so we're going to miter this one as well. All right. And I get these little pieces out of the way. All right, so now we are going to just burnish all of our score lines. So I'm grabbing my foam folder, and I'm just gonna make sure I have everything lining up properly. When I score these down, this one is gonna go in here, and then this side too. All right, so let's make sure that it gets scored good. And then this side. And it's going to make a pretty good size little box. So I think that that's really nice. And then we have one more piece here that we're going to score. Okay. And so our little box is going to go together. Oh, I had one more score line. We have to do this one here. So just let me make sure I have all that lined up. And there we go. All right, so now you'll see these little flaps will go in. All right, And this is the front, this piece up here, okay? And so we want to make sure when we put it together that these pieces for the front are going to the back, so that we don't have the edge on the front of the box, okay? And then it will flip over and close like such, all right? So your box ends up being, let's take a look. The box is like 1 1/4 inches deep. I guess that's what you would say. And it is, well, it's just shy of 6 inches wide and right at 3 inches tall. So it's a good size container for you to put in some treats and things like that. You know, I was just noticing, like, you could actually fit some adhesive in there if you wanted to give like a little adhesive kit to a friend. It would fit your bone holder. I think a pair of scissors would fit in there. Like, you could find quite a few could fit here. Now you wouldn't want to get it too heavy, but I think, you know, it's a really nice container. So let's go ahead and decorate our container. So I grabbed some of the Calypso, I'm sorry, Calypso. Oh my goodness. The Painterly Pear papers. And I wanted to just kind of see if I wanted to make any changes really quick, because we do have options. And so I'm wondering about using some of these other papers that I have, because we could. I, of course, love this paper here. And I'm wondering about that. We could use these two. I think those two would be really, really nice together. Or we can stick with what we have. I don't think I want the pears. That's all. I just don't think I want the pears. So we're going to cut some additional pieces. But I'm looking here to see what else I have. Because I have that, and so I kind of like this as well. So I might use that. I was thinking about putting the purse on here, and so I think it would go with either one of these as our element that we're going to bring in. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this with this one. And let's see how it comes out. So let's go ahead and make some trimming. I had some pieces already cut, but let's just cut some new ones. So this is 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut this one. So 2 3/4 inch. And then I want this to be 5 3/4. And I kind of like that. I think that's going to look great. And then let's see here. We have, what else do I need? I need these pieces. So I need 3 other pieces. One of them is, again, going to be 5 3/4 by 1 inch. Okay. And that's what we're going to cut out of this one. So let's do 1 inch right here. And then 5 3/4. So that's one. And then the next one, we need 2 pieces the same size. And so this is 2 3/4 by 1 inch. So let me just cut another strip at 1 inch. Get it lined up there. And then we will cut 2 at 2 3/4 inch. Okay. I told you I wasn't totally ready today. So we're going to some of me that I would normally have had all put together. So let's have that. Okay. So I think the only other thing I'm gonna need is I feel like I have one thing missing, but we'll figure it out as we go. Because I did use one of the edge there's some dies that have like edges on them, and so I did use that for this piece, and that's going to go onto the front flap. And this piece of cardstock measures right at 6 inches, and so the depth of this is, well, really about 2.5 inches is what you would need, but that's going to go on the front of our card. So let's go ahead and start to put all of this together. And I'm going to move that out of the way. And let's see here. I'm thinking I might need something from my dies, and I'm trying to remember where they are at because I have set them aside. Now, I think I know where they're at. So let's just give me a moment while I figure this out, because once again, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. Time snuck up on me today. I can only say that. Oh, perfect. We already have one. So what I wanted was the circle die. I wanted one of those, and I already had one cut, so yay. All right, so I used the dies from the quarter that had the circle with the scallop or the stitching around it. I don't know if you can see that very well, but we got some stitching around it. So now we can put our little box together. So this piece is going to go here and there. And this piece is going to go here, and then we're going to put this right on the front. So let's go ahead and put our pieces down, and then we will put our box together. So I don't know how many of you like to make 3D items. I do like to make them at this time of year because I like to make little gifts for my coworkers. Do any of you like to make little gifts for neighbors or teachers or whatnot? I just think these are such a great option for putting together a little goodie box or bag of treats. I think you could put quite a few things inside this box, which is what I love. One of the things I did last year was I did like a little survival box, and it had all kinds of things that I put in it. And they just loved it. It had all kinds of things in there, like dental floss and all kinds of things that you would need to have in your desk for that day that you just don't, you have that thing that happens and you're looking for something. And anyway, this little box had just a ton of little things in it like that, and it was so handy and they loved it. All right, so those are the pieces we're going to put onto our box, and again, it's going to go together like that. Okay, and so we're going to put some glue on the flaps right here, and I'm not getting it too heavy, like gloppy, I guess is what I would say, but I am good coverage. Okay, and so I want to make sure that I have that going in. All right, and then I'm just making sure that everything lines up good. Okay, and now we'll do this side as well. All right, and just lining it up so that we don't have things sticking out where they shouldn't be. Okay, and so just getting in here and giving it a good press. That's the other nice thing about the size of this is you can actually get your fingers down in there, which sometimes we cannot. All right, so that's going to close up like that. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this piece right to the front of here, and it's just going to give it a nice closure on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue right on here. And again, just giving it good coverage so that it holds. All right, and I'm going to fold my little box up like this to put this down onto here. Okay, and there we go, just like that. All right, and just make sure that it's laying flat when it's closed. All right, that's what the great thing about the multi-purpose liquid glue is like you still have just a little bit of movement in it while it's still getting cured in a sense. Okay, and so that's our little box. All right, so then we're going to decorate our box. All right, and I do have some of the ribbon that we used a couple of weeks ago that I thought would be perfect on here. And this is the Mossy Meadow and Gold trim. I just think it's perfect for this. So we're going to do a little bit of a ribbon around here so that we can have a nice little closure on it. Now I am putting the gold side forward, okay, and I'm just trying to measure and make sure I have a long enough kind of piece for what I want. So I think this will do it, and I'll tell you how long I made my ribbon. Okay, so I made my ribbon 16. Looks like I have it to be about 26.5 inches. Okay. Probably don't need this much, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough whenever I wanted to tie my bow. All right. So for now, I am going to, what I want to do is I want to use a little bit of tear and tape on my ribbon to get it tacked down where I want it. So again, I think that's where I want it, and I want it to be centered on here, and so I think I want my tear and tape to go about right here. Okay, so I'm just getting this lined up on here. And this is just really to tack it down so that we're not having to fight with it. Okay. And so let's see here. If I want to make sure I get in the center, so it's about right here. I want to get in the center. It needs to go about right there. There we go. So now I just have that tacked on there, which is going to be perfect, and it won't get in the way. All right, so I'm going to set that aside for now, and we have our circle die that we had cut, and I wanted to bring in the little purse, and I just think that this is so cute. Now, to me, that circle die is way too small. I wonder, do I have anything bigger? What would I use? Or maybe that's why I had this oval out. I'm not sure why I had this oval out, but I feel like that's too big for here too. So maybe we're not going to have the circle die. Maybe we'll just add the purse right onto here. and then add some of our flowers around it. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to turn my box out like this so that I can work with the space. Okay. And we're going to put our little handbag right on here. And it's going to go about right there. So let me get some dimensionals. I'm still working on this big old thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my dimensionals right on here so that I don't, mess up where the placement needs to go, because that's where I want my bag to go. Okay. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle there. So let's go ahead and just put our little bag down. All right. And I'm going to have it a little bit leaning to this direction. All right. And we're going to go ahead and put this down right behind there. So, you know what? Maybe we'll actually do this one on top of here, just because I don't want it standing up over the top of the box, and that way we can get a little bit of dimension out of it before we add our flowers. So let's see here, because I want to use some dimensionals, but I'm not seeing my little minis here. So let me grab some of them. Now I still need to cut a couple so that we can get these little guys right here. That looks good. And then let me get this other one off of here. And we'll put that one right there. Now I still think I need to have a little something down here. So I am just going to cut teeny tiny edge off of the edge here. And let's see if we can get that on there. So just a little tiny bit right there on the edge of our handle. I don't know. Let's see if we can. Oh, I did it. It's hidden. Okay. All right. So let's just get our covers off of the dimensionals. They're so tiny. All right. And we're going to just add that right on top of here. Oh, now I am seeing just a little tiny bit of this. Try to move it over. There we go. All right, so now I'm just going to add this right on top of here, like so. Okay, now we have that little extra dimension going on there. So yay, and now I just need to get some flowers. Of course, I'm not ready for that. And I have some, though, I'm almost positive, in my kit box. Where is my kit? Okay, here we go. So let's see, because I know I have some, and I want to make sure I don't already have any of them cut. I don't see any, so we're going to use these. So I have a couple here, and I'm going to grab that. And need one other thing. Where is it? Why do I feel like I am missing something? Where is the other sheet that I am looking for? Oh my goodness, y'all. I was not ready for today. All right. All right. Let's see here. We're going to use a little bit of this and cut out a couple of these little flowers. And that is going to take care of what I was trying to find. So I thought I already had that, but I didn't. So this is what you're getting today. But we got some fun ideas. So thanks for being patient with me. I hope you will like the ideas that I am sharing. And be patient because I did not have myself ready to roll today. Sometimes that happens, right? We get distracted or whatever, but not really sure how I got lost track of my time today, but I did. I have been kind of planning. I know now what I did because I was planning. I want to do like a card class. I haven't done one in a while and I would like to do one. So I've been planning it. I got sideways today thinking about that. And so I want to do a little Christmas card class. I think I'm going to do one with the ephemera. I'm not sure that's what it's called, but maybe it's the mix and match holiday stuff that came in the new catalog or with the online exclusive stuff. Can't remember where it's at, but it has the card bases that are plaid and garden green and crumb cake. And so I want to use that. I think that would be so cute to do a class. All right, let's put our little thing together here. Now I am going to have, this one is going to get popped up, but these guys, I think I'm going to put them down in the back of here. So I'm going to get some glue on here and we're just going to put them, if I get this sitting upright, and get my ribbon in the right place. So I want them right here is where I want them to go. There. And then we're going to add this one with some dimensional piece here. So this little guy is going to get popped up right here in front. I will get that little petal on top of the bag loop. All right, and then this one's gonna go, whoops, my goodness. Guess I can use all of these. I don't need them. I took off one and root came. How does that happen to you? All right, so then we're gonna have this one coming right here, like so. And then I'm gonna add this one down towards this other side right over here. Oh, if I can get my fingers in here in the right spot. There we go. There we go. All right, so that is our little bag with the flowers. I just love it. So cute. Okay, now we have to put a sentiment on here. And I'm going to close this up just because it seems a little ornery to deal with at the moment. And it'll be easier once we have it closed to add our sentiment. But we're going to add it right on top of that little, right on here. So where is my sentiment? Because I know I had that sheet out here. I got everything fumbled up. And now I have to find it again. Holy moly. Sorry, guys. to just make sure I didn't miss it. Because I have that. And these are the other two projects. Oh, I think I see it. There it is. There we go. There we go. All right, we're going to use the little tag on here. So now let me get our stamps out. So I think I just want the little for you on here. And I am going to get my Mossy Meadow, my Mossy Meadow ink, which I have right here. I'm going to get these out. I have a big pile there. So I'm going to put that away, but we're going to use the Mossy Meadow on here. I think it'll be the best for this. And where is my foam mat? I could be any more disorganized. I don't know that I could. Well, we're going without it because it was here a minute ago. Are y'all laughing with me yet? Because that's how I feel. All right, so we are going with the For You right on here. And there we go. And put that out of the way. All right, I'm going to pop this out. And then we are going to add this right onto our little bag. And then we'll put a little tiny linen thread bow onto our little bag so that this looks like it was tied onto the handle. There we go. All right, so we're going to just set it right under there like that. All right, and I have a little piece left over from last week, the spool. And so let's see, we don't need a long piece for this. So let's just get a little tiny one going here. So we can add it to our little bag. So now I'm going to get another little tiny piece of the tear and tape because I still haven't gotten my glue dots out. So silly, to be honest. But I can roll this up just like a glue dot and it will be perfect for what I want. All right, so now that's going to go right on top of there like that. All right, so there's our little box. Look at how cute that is. Oh my goodness. So look, you have so many ideas that you can do. Now you could have used the card base from the kit with the speckling. You could have used that to put on the white box. You could have made a different color box. So because the measurements are 8.5 by 9.5 that you start with, you could use any one of the cardstock colors. So you could have had a different color base. I just think that this came out so cute, and I hope that will encourage you to give a 3D project a try. All right, so let's move on to the next little project and see what I have because, well, of course, I planned these a while ago. So let's see what we got here because I put this in here a while ago. So let's just see. All right. Oh, that's because I wanted to decide with you. All right. So we have here, I have the speckled card base, the plain speckled card base, and the window scene. Okay. And then I was trying to decide which color to put on this on. So Do we want to have it on Lost Lagoon? Does it look better on the Secret Sea? Or what do you think about the gray granite? So let me know, participate with me. Tell me what you think we should do. I'll just give you a moment. The other thing we're doing here is we're going to add a little strip across here. So this came from the envelope. And then I had this ribbon, which I totally love. And I'm going to try to see if I can tell you the name of it. But this is the Fresh Freesia. And it's like it's a faux velvet ribbon. And I just love that little extra added texture. So I thought we would add it to the top of here. And then we are going to stamp using the envelope paper, the little teapot, and we're going to cut out a little teapot to go on top of our card. So let's see here. Where is it? Is that right? No, that's from the other one I opened. I always have 2 kits that I work from each month because I want to have plenty of pieces to work with. And so I always have an extra stamp set. Someday I'll probably try to sell those, but I haven't. Does anybody have an opinion yet? Should we use Lost Lagoon, Secret Sea, or Gray Granite? If I don't hear from you, I will decide, but I still am getting myself together here. So we got that block, and I'm getting one more block for our sentiment that we're going to use. We're going to use this one right here. So we're going to stamp the teapot using the Secret Sea. I have my big stamp pad out today. So we are just going to stamp that really right here. And we're going to cut it out. So having some fun with that. Looks like we're not going to get any feedback, June. It's all right. It's all right. We don't have a lot of people watching, so I understand. All right, so we're putting For a Great Friend right inside of here. And I think because of the elements of Secret Sea and the ink, I think we'll use Secret Sea on the background. I thought about doubling them. That might be one way to go. Oh, maybe. I wonder what's the size of this. I wonder what the size of this is so that we could see what we could do. So this is 3.5 by slightly over 4 3/4. So I think we could. So if I did the Secret Sea at 5 inches, trim this down, and then 3 3/4 inch. And I think this one was already 4 by 5 1/4. It is. That we can layer these on here. And I think I would like that. So we'll have the Gray Granite is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then we have the Secret Sea, which is 3 1/4 inch by 5 inches. And then we will add our window right on top of there. Oh, I love that. Oh, I'm so glad. Um, so I hope whoever is watching will like it too. All right, so let me get my stamps out of the way. We're going to go ahead and cut this out really quickly. And I'm just leaving a little bit of an edge around the teapot. Not a lot of one, but a little one. It's like maybe 1/8 of an inch or less. And it's certainly not equal because that would mean I could cut perfectly, and I can't. You can see I'm already kind of fumbling around with it. All right, it's just the paper is the envelope paper, and so there's some little funky edge over here that's thicker, and it doesn't want to bend very well and work with me while I'm cutting. All right, so here we go. Love it. And I am going to trim this just a little closer. I feel like this was a little too far away down here. And there we have it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. All right, and there's that. All right, now our teapot's going to go right on here as if it was right on the ledge with the rest of the pots, okay? And I just liked how this looked because it kind of was the right size for the ledge and the other pots. Like I could move it over. If I want it to be in the center, I could move it on this side. I kind of like it a little bit on this side where this other little handle is coming out from the edge. And so hopefully you can see how that looks. I hope you like how that looks. All right, so let's go ahead and do this piece here. This is going to go across there. We'll do that once we get all this put together. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put these down so that we can get things measured in the right spots. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to have a mistake. So we are putting down a gray granite piece onto the card base from the kit, which is just the plain white speckled card base. And then we're putting 2 layers of cardstock. So we had gray granite and now this secret C. Okay. And oh, I really like these colors. All right, so we are going to put this on dimensionals, I think. Is that right? Do I want it on dimension? Yeah, it'll be okay on dimensionals. Okay. So we're going to put this down across the ledge, okay? And it's going to basically hide this. So I'm just going to add the glue right on top of there. And this is becoming the ledge. All right, so let's just see if I need to move things around so that I can get it on here straight. And I think that's right where I want it. Okay. All right, perfect. And now we're going to add the little velvety piece, and it's going to be towards the bottom. Or maybe I can get it in the center. I'm trying to think the best way. I think I'm just going to use my precision tip glue to put a little strip of glue on here. And then I'm going to stick my ribbon right on top. And I just went down the center of the little eyelets on here. And then I am going to lay this on top of there. Okay. And then I'm going to trim it. right here. All right, that's where that's gonna go. Trying to get it straight. I love that little element. Oh, it's so cute. Just a nice little added piece. All right. Now, this is where the teapot comes in, and it's going to go right here. Now, we are going to put a dimensional on here for this piece, because what I'll do is make sure when I put dimensionals on for the rest of the window piece that no dimensionals are where we put this little teapot down. Now, seems like a lot, but the paper itself is kind of fragile because it's the envelope paper. So I'm using more more dimensionals than I would normally. So I'm going to trim this off just a tad so I can have a good decent size there. All right, so now let's put on our teapot to the windowsill, and that's gonna go right there. Okay, so for a great friend, that's what our windowsill looks like. And so you can see the dimension. We have a little bit of dimension here with our little lavender, or oh my goodness, fresh freesia ribbon, okay, which matches the fresh freesia in the flowers. All right, so now we're going to put dimensionals on here, and I'm just going to put it in the four corners and the center, which then it will still be fine for going through the postage meter with one stamp needed, so we don't have to have a bunch of extra spend with regard to the postage. Okay. All right, so now let's put our piece on to the front of our card, just like so. Oops. Oh, I want to move it over just a tad. Thought I had it straight, but not quite. Okay, now there we go. All right. So that's the card front. Okay. Now we can decorate the inside of the card if we want, but I am thinking I would like to just add some of these, just a couple of these little guys. What are they called again? Low profile dots. I feel like this is that secret C right here. And I just think it would be so pretty to just add a couple of these. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to get one of the bigger ones. And I'm just going to add one right there. And then right there. And then we'll add another one right down here. And that is the front. Very nice. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the box. And I hope you like the card. Now, if we wanted to do something on the inside, we could certainly, I could use some of my little leftover Secret C. I could add that in here. I could stamp on the inside. But I'm not going to spend time doing that. I have one more card I want to get to. And so let's get that out. And I have to remind myself again about this because, as I said, I did these some time ago. So we have, this is, oh my goodness, I don't remember the name of this card. It's like a bridge card. This piece is, Nope. Let's just get it all together. All right, so this piece is going to go here, and this piece is going there. Then I have a piece of the envelope that I cut for there. And then we have the window that's going to go on the inside of here. And then the bridge goes across here. And I have our typewriter that's going to go right on the bridge. Okay. I don't remember, but it's some kind of bridge card. And I have these. This is in here so that I could cut out some little flowers. So I'm going to just do that really quick. I don't think I need a lot, so let's just do 3 of these really quick. And try not to be messy. But I'm glad I have this pear paper because it has really been useful in doing these alternates. One little funny edge here. There we go. There's one. And then do this one. Then we're going to have to do some stamping because I want to do some stamping on the envelope pieces. And before we put it all together. So let's see here. When the paper is too big around, it makes it hard to move the item you're cutting around. All right, one more. Get rid of all this extra paper on here. All right. Next week will be the 14th, so we will not have the next kit yet. So I'm trying to decide if we do more of this kit or I bring in one of the online exclusive kits. And there's certainly a lot of new ones out there. I thought about doing the garland one, but I'm not sure. That could be a very long video is the thing. So let me get my stamps out that I want. So I wanted I think I want the eyelet trim and the floral piece. And maybe these little flowers. I think that's what I want. And then we're going to need a sentiment, but I think because we have the typewriter, we can do, I think the thank you stamp will fit on here. So let me look at that. It's always good to have thank you cards, right? So I think that will work on there. So let's see here. Since I can't seem to locate my foam mat, it's crazy. All right, so I have my secret C here. So we're going to start with that and do our thank you on here. And we're going to put it way up at the tip top, like there. Thank you. All right, so that's done. And we're going to use that in our typewriter. And so I'm going to put that aside. Now we have the pieces that are on the side. I'm about to get my paper all messy here because I just am. All right, so I'm going to use the eyelets, and I want this to go across the bottom of here. And let's see. I think that's straight. There we go. All right, and then we're going to have our little twig flower coming up like so. And we're just going to put that right there. And I think what I decided was I wanted to do it like this. All right, so now this one's going to come this way. All right, perfect. I know this seems kind of odd, but I think it'll be okay. Designer's choice, right? And then I'm going to do just some random flower stamps on here. Like that. And that's going to be what goes on the inside of there. I don't know. What the heck. All right, so we have that one, and then we'll do one here. We'll put one here, and then one here, and see how that goes. All right, that I think is our stamping. Okay, let's go ahead and put our card together. This one's going to go on this side, and this one on that side. It's kind of random, but or do I decide I want it? These are going, they're not going. I think I want it this way. I guess I get to decide. All right, we're just going to go for it. Well, this is going to go right here. It's like the inside wallpaper. You know what I mean? So you just have to have something. Now, I could have chose to use one of the DSPs, but I just wanted to try and use up some of the stamps because we haven't used a lot of them. We've used a lot of the sayings. So this we are going to put on dimensionals for inside of here. And I've never made one of these bridge cards before, at least I can't recall. I remember making one that was similar, and it had like a little boot that popped up, like a wiper card kind of a thing. But I don't know that it was a bridge. So I'm moving this up towards the top since we have the piece that's going to come across the bottom. Okay. And let's go ahead and put our other pieces on the outside of here first. So these are going to go here like so. And then we have this one. Good. We're not too past. I was afraid we were way past the hour because I was not organized today. All right. So here we go. There we go. All right. So it'll close like this. Okay. And how it goes together. This is the part I'm a little confused by because I don't see how this is going to fit. Oh, that's because it's, no, I don't see how that works, to be honest. Boy, We're really in a mess, aren't we? Because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so if this is going across here, I feel like this should have been like 4¼ inch size. And that if it's like this, what we're doing here, that does not work out. We would have to make a special envelope for this in order for this to work. I feel like I have to start over. What am I doing wrong? Okay, I'm gonna pause because you haven't made any cards, Wanda? Oh my goodness. Yes, that would be pretty with the floral stamp, the mirror image. All right, well, I'm a little embarrassed because I don't know how this works, and I don't want to screw it up if it's actually gonna work. But to be honest, I don't think that this works right. And so I am going to not continue with it. My plan is to have it go across here, and the little typewriter is out here with some flowers, right? And our little message of thank you. But what I need to do is make sure I have all these measurements right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop for today, and I'm going to figure it out, and I will be back with the correct measurements. Okay. So how embarrassing is that? Oh, well, now you know I am just a regular person figuring it out. Oh, you're so sweet. I thank you for that. Yeah, well, today was a blender, that's for sure. I thank you for watching. Anybody that stops by after and watches the replay. I'm going to figure this out, and we are going to might just do another video separate just for this so I can clear up my wrongness here, and put it in the group. And I'll post it to the YouTube channel as well, so that it can be available to anybody that watches this and goes, what is she doing? So, all right, everybody, thanks for joining me. I look forward to next week when we are probably going to either be continuing with the Farmhouse Florals, or we will do an online exclusive kit. I just have to figure out which one. You think I did just fine. Oh, you're so sweet. I just have to figure out the measurement. Something's not right with this, so I've got to like figure that out, and I will. All right, so thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Have a good weekend and the rest of and a great week ahead. Bye, everybody.